Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. Thank you for being here today. I am Julie. This is Creations by Julie. Ed is behind the camera to try to catch your comments, or if you might have any questions to ask during the live. It doesn't have to be about this particular live. It could be about something that you want to see me make or something that's been in the past. Just put your questions in the comments and we'll try to catch them. If not, I go back after the live and check all the comments. Let me make sure that we're on.
We are.
Ed says we are, so there we are. Let me make sure I'm turned down. I think I am.
Terry,
So, hi Terry. Thank you for being here. Terry, you're going to have to come over one day and be on my live. Was it last week that Emma was here? Week before last? Maybe it was a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, and we had our granddaughter here one week watching our live. But again, welcome. When you hop on, let us know you're on. Let us know where you're from, especially if you're new. Let us know that you're new so that we can all welcome you. I have a great group of ladies on this page and always willing to help each other do things. So today we're going to do something with the newest rub-on transfers from Magnolia Design. And this, I want to show you that even though there's several things that, there's 3 hearts. Maybe you wouldn't want to use them anytime except Valentine's, but you probably could use them for Mother's Day.
She said I'd have to bring you some of my bread.
Oh, yeah. We would open the door wide. But I want to show you how you can also use them for different times of the year. If you're interested in these, I put the link to my store at the top of this video. So when we're done, go back and click that link and just look under rub-on transfers. Also, if you like anything I used today and you see anything that you really like, just go through the store and check out the stuff they have. Next week, I'm going to be doing the February Craft Club kit. So check it out and see if it's something. It's really cute this month. It's actually like a garden flag. So it can be used all spring. So I'm going to actually be using one of the book stacks from Magnolia. Now, this is in their stencils. I forgot to look up and see how much it was, but it comes already to where it looks like a stack of 3 books. Now, I like to do a lot of prep work ahead of time, so I'm going to tell you what I did to prep this surface. It comes to you in white. You wouldn't have to do anything if you didn't want to. It's got the Magnolia thing on the bottom. I didn't want the white. I wanted it toned down because I'm going to do Shabby Chic. So I kind of wanted a cream. I didn't get it quite as dark as I wish I would have. I could have given it another coat, but anyway, I've already done that. Now this one actually does have a little bit of distressing on the edges. If you don't like that, you just paint it. You can paint it any color you want to. If you don't want to paint it, it is like a chalkboard surface. It is smooth and ready to go just like it is. But you'll find these book stacks under the under the surfaces at Magnolia Design. So, but that's what we're going to do, and let me tell you a little bit of how I prepped it for my thing today. I took it and I painted, because see, this is the bottom. You can barely see the Magnolia name. I painted it with the Waverly Plaster. It's not a lot darker, but it's more of a country white. So
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we need to talk about that too, because that's how you get your name entered into our blessing bag, which this month, for the month of February, I'm going to just put in a box full of my favorite supplies, tools. It could be some stencils, who knows, but I'm just gonna, you can mail a big box with a whole bunch in it the same price as I can put, one stencil in a box and mail it, pretty much. But I painted this first with the Waverly. Then I took some like distressing ink or whatever, and I just kind of dirtied up the edges, and guess who of us here doesn't particularly like the distressed, dirtied up look? Not me. Ed's always like, I don't know why you want to buy something brand new and then dirty it up. But anyway, I dirtied up the edges because we're going for shabby chic, okay? And then because I painted over the surface, if you wanted just to stencil or put napkins, you wouldn't have to sand it. But if you paint it, then you want to just rub your sandpaper over it gently. That smooths it out because chalk paint kind of has a grainy feel. So you want a smooth surface when you're going to stencil or apply these rub-on transfers. And we're going to do both to this particular book stack. So I did just smooth up the surface a little bit. Also, since I'm using a brand new stencil, I didn't want to pull up my paint. So I took my Minwax, it's clear, natural, and just waxed it just a little bit. And you just put a little bit on a rag, you put it on, then you wipe it off. That is supposed to keep your stencil from pulling up the paint. There again, if you just use the book stack, you wouldn't have to do that, okay? As you're hopping on and as we're going through the video today, be sure and share this with your friends. Even if you're watching, if you don't see that red button up there that says live, then you're watching a replay, which is great. And I love the fact that you can watch a replay. And you're still eligible to get your name in our blessing bag because all you have to do is share the video to your page, come back to this page, and in the comments, let me know that you shared it, okay? And then we're going to go the whole month of February. I put all the names in the bag, and I'll draw one for that bag of goodies or box of goodies that we're going to do.
Miss Terry said I didn't know that. Good to know I need to sand after using chalk paint.
Yeah, if you'll feel, after you use the chalk paint, if you'll feel of it, it's grainy. So, it's no problem unless you're going to use a stencil because you want your stencil smooth to where your paint doesn't bleed and your chalk paste doesn't bleed. Okay, that's all I did to prepare the board. I am going to, the first thing, we're also going to use the stencil from Magnolia. It's a new one. Faith, Hope, and Love, 1 Corinthians 13:13. And down the side we only have room for 3. So I'm actually going to put the Faith, Hope, and Love, and then I'm going to put the scripture verse on the top with one of these. So we're going to do our rub-on transfer first. I love the rub-on transfers. They're very easy. And if Ann gets on today, Ann, I got your transfers out in the mail to you, but I forgot to send you a little, like a stick thing. I'll send it to you the next time you win something, but you can always use a popsicle stick and kind of do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to take this out. Yeah, I haven't seen her, but she'll go back and watch the replay. Okay, and they've also got this cute little glove that would be really cute for vintage, a pretty butterfly. But I'm going to use this little boot, and I chose brown chalk paste because of the brown in the boots. And I'm going to add a little bit of brown to our bow in the way of probably jute. Okay, so when you're using these, you just want to, now, okay, I'm looking, that butterfly is really, really close to that boot. So I think I'm going to include the butterfly on this. So I'm just going to go and just cut around my boot. I could try to cut off the butterfly, but the leaves and stuff are pretty close to that butterfly. So I'm just going to include it. It's cute. Okay, and I'm going to cut it across, okay? And then I'm going to set those aside. I might use something else down the side, and I might not. So I'm going to decide what I want for my top and my bottom. And it's really, I know I want this on the bottom, and I think this is going to be my top. So I'm going to turn my book stack. And I'm actually going to apply this over to one side. I'll turn it. I'm going to put it here on this side because we're going to have the words on this side, and I'm going to have the scripture right here. So you want to take your transfer off the little backing sheet. And just be careful and make sure none of it sticks to that backing sheet. I've never had one stick, but you never know. But this is pretty sticky, so kind of have an idea of where you're going to put it down before you put it on your wood. And I'm going to move it over a little bit, just where that butterfly. And I want it down because I'm going to put a messy bow on it. Okay? And then I'm just going to kind of take it. And see how I put it over to this side and the butterfly is right at the edge. You could do your stencils where they go off the edge if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to start rubbing it. I'm going to give it a good rub all over, and then we'll start at one spot. You can kind of see when it lifts off that transfer onto your wood, because it kind of changes color. And you have to push pretty hard, especially on the little bitty, and I'll see you can even do it actually better with the popsicle stick because it's smaller. Let me get this butterfly to where I'm pretty sure it's all off and show you the difference of how it changes color a little bit. And when you're doing, you want to lift just, you do, I don't know if you can see a difference in the color here, but you can see how Ed may can zoom in a little bit, and then you may see his head, who knows. Be ready to say hi, Ed. But you can see the difference in, or you can take it and hold it up there if you want to do that. Okay, see the butterfly right here, how it's a lighter shade? That pretty well tells you it has come loose from the transfer onto your wood. So that's what I want to do to everything. I want to get that shade, and just don't get in a big hurry. When you're doing transfers, you have to do them a little slow. And then you're going to lift it slowly, because you will see as you lift, if it's not stuck, it will be stuck to this transfer thing. That one little flower right there is not down, and then you just lay it back down if it doesn't catch, and then you just kind of work yourself as you go along your transfer. And y'all, these transfers, I mean, you have to go slow because you don't want to leave any of your flower. You could tell, see, this is clear. I haven't left any piece yet. And when you get done, it really does look like it has been painted on your wood. And you can use these transfers on metal, wood, plastic. I think you can probably even put them on candles. Okay, let's go slow. Make sure I've got all that rose right there. All right, now we're going to start over here. And get those little bitty, they're almost like little leaves. And this has some little transfers, some big transfers, this sheet. Okay, so far nothing is, I'm just lifting as I go. And I'm probably overdoing, being extra cautious, because so far nothing's sticking to that clear transfer. Every now and then you might get a little piece, but so far it's all coming off good. Let's see that little flower. It's not hard at all. You do have to put a little elbow grease in it and go slow if you want every little bit of your transfer. And the shoelace is a little thin. I want to make sure I get all that. Okay. Usually when it's bigger pieces, it comes off a lot quicker. It's these little bitty,
More detail.
yeah, the more details you have to rub, and just make sure you hit the right spots. All right, I've got everything but the toe now. There we go. So that's what we've got.
Wait a minute, let it focus. There we go.
Okay. Now what you want to do with your transfer is take that piece and then just kind of lay it over, and I think they call this burnishing or something. You just want to go over it and make sure everything's down. And it's your choice whether you want to seal this when you're done or not. If you seal it, you want to make sure you use something that's non-yellowing and, dries clear. All right. All right, so we've got our boot on there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use any more of the stencils or not. We'll see. So now this is the top of my book stack, and I want my words right at the edge down this way. So it's a new stencil. So I'm going to open it up, and this is just a small one, like a 5x7. Normally, you would want to write on the back, so that you would go to put it back on here. I think you're good. I'll just try to put everything here where they can see. This is the Faith, Hope, Love. I'm going to cut it apart. And normally I would write on the back, so I made sure I put it on the right side. But I'll tell you what I've been doing with my stencils, small stencils like that. I got a portfolio, like a book. This is the one that has all my Faith stencils in it. And you can see you buy backing sheets that are whole sheets, 8.5 by 11. So when I take this and I clean it, I'm just going to put this individually on the sheet, and I don't have to worry about making sure it fits the right thing. Now these still have a shiny and a dull. You still want to, put it on the shiny side. But these portfolios and stuff are, this one is full, but even my newer stencils that I haven't used just slide right down in those things. So I really have enjoyed doing that. Now it took a while, and I think so far I've gotten like 6 books of stencils. So I'm not going to worry about marking the back of this. I'm just going to cut it apart, and I'm going to do the scripture verse on top with the shoe, like right here. I hope I left enough space. I did. And then I'm going to put the Faith, Hope, and Love down the side. The stencil can be used for so many things. And it's not expensive. I forgot it's, maybe $8 or $9, something like that. But you use it over and over and over. Okay. So I think I'm going to actually start, I'm going to turn it like this. I think I'm going to start with my Faith at the top so I can work my way down and hopefully not touch any of this. You still do want to put a little bit of fuzz on your brand new stickers. So I'm just going to, you can use your clothes, you can use the dish towel.
Stencils or stickers?
Stencils, yeah, you want to put a little fuzz on your stencils, just to keep it from pulling up your paint and stuff like that. Okay, and I'm just going to do it a couple of times. And then try to fit it on here where the H is right at the edge.
Terry says that's really going to be cute.
And that it's straight. I'm not known for getting my things real straight, and I kind of want it in the center of that first little, and then just push down on it. Now I'm going to try to see where that little line is right there. It's there and there. I think that's kind of even. Now, I'm not going to push over here real hard because, I'm not going to be using paste. And this is wood, so you do use paste. Our paste has a black lid. Now, I did open this paste earlier and stir it. I had to add some water to it because, this is chalk paste. I had not used it in a long time, and it had kind of turned chalky. And I might have put a little bit too much water in it. I hope not. We'll see. But I'm going to stir it again. It's a little lumpy because it was so hard. And if you open your chalk, you want it about the consistency of yogurt or icing. And then you can see this one has some lumps, but I think it'll be fine. If you open up your paste and it's kind of hard, you can just put a little, because it's water-based, you can put a little bit of water in it and then stir it with something. All right, I'm going to use a small squeegee because this is kind of a small space. And hope I don't get any bleed. I hope I didn't get it too thin. If you got it too thin, you can always just leave the lid off of it for a little while and it kind of thickens up. But you want to put your chalk paste on with the angled part of your brush, and you don't push hard. You just want that chalk paste to go down in the little white areas of your letters. And then you take the straighter side and get off your excess. Okay? And then I'm going to pull this off. Up. Yeah, it bled. So my paste is a little too thin. I'm wondering, would you get me a rag? Let me see if I can wipe this off and do it again. It's not really bad, but it's worse than I would like it.
Wet?
Yeah. Since I painted this, we're going to see if this will wipe off. If you're doing it on a chalkboard and you get bleed through and stuff, you can just take a wet rag and wipe it off. So we're going to see if it works on this with brown. He got me one of my good red and white rags. And another thing, the sides have a little bit of a groove in them. So that might have been the problem. We'll see. But you can just wipe it off, as y'all see. But you don't want to do that over and over and over. Let's try the next word while that dries. Maybe I can push down harder. Or maybe this one I won't fuzz. And I'll put it on here. I have done these before and they didn't bleed. So let's see where the lines are. That's pretty close. I'm going to push this down really well. And we'll see. And it's probably because I put too much water in my paste. I could do it black, but I didn't really want to do it black. I wanted brown. So let's see. Maybe don't use so much. We'll see. Usually in crafting, you can always fix your mistakes. And that's the one thing about this Magnolia Design stencils and stuff, is that you just wipe it off if you're using chalk paste. I'm trying not to push hard at all. Yeah, that's much better. It means I'm going to, if you would, Ed, take this one over there. It's pretty much washed. Just lay it sticky side up so it can be drying. And I'll do it last. Okay. Can you see that the hope turned out much better? Okay. So now we're going to do the love. I'm going to try to center it. I'm not going to worry. And see, it's in a different font, but that's okay. And, you know, you can use these words for other things. Now that L is really tall, so I'm going to have to really move down. In fact, it's going to go up over my hope a little bit. I mean, go up. The L's almost too big for this little line. Let's see if maybe I didn't have it real straight either. All right, let's try. But I think that'll be fine. The L goes up over that line just a little bit.
It might bleed in that line too.
Yeah, it might. I'll go really, really light there. And like I said, I could have used my black. I'll just go light up here and see what it does. And I'm trying to kind of pick up some of my heavier. The next time I open my brown to use it, it'll be fine. All right, I'm not going to go back over that. Okay, that looks okay. The E looks a little weird, but you see how the L came up a little bit? But that's okay. All right, before I go any further, I'm going to dry these just a little bit. And see, now, since I'm going to use my full things, I can actually throw the little pieces away.
I almost missed a comment.
Oh.
Terry said, so the green is a cloth type of stencil, at least it looks cloth?
It's would you kind of like a mesh type stencil? Everywhere you see white, that's where your ink or your paste goes through. It's a reusable stencil. You just put them in water because you don't want paste to dry.
It's actually plastic, though. Or not plastic.
It's not really plastic. What is that stencil made of? I would call it kind of a mesh, but I mean, it's not a mesh that you can, get ink through. But all their stencils are made out of this same material. But you can use them, I'd say 15 to 20 times.
Some type of polish.
Yeah, it's not where you can see through it. Is the Faith dry yet? Over there, Ed? Faith, the stencil.
Yeah.
And what you do is you just put it in water, and since it's chalk paste, it doesn't really take long to dry. And just like I got the Faith off of here, it's still a little wet. I could wash it all off. If I don't seal it, I could, if I wasn't happy, I could take it all off. And once you wash them and you lay them out to dry, you take a Clorox wipe. This is what reactivates your sticky. And on the back side, where it's sticky, you just run a Clorox wipe over it. That reactivates, and you let them dry. But I'm going to try to give this one a little help. I'll tell you what I could do. I could do the Corinthians on the top and let this dry a little bit more. I think I'll do that. Okay. I'll put my 1 Corinthians 13:13 up here. And I want it right on the edge. And I'm just pushing down where there's white to make sure it sticks all around my letters. I normally don't have problems with bleed through. If the consistency of your paste is correct, unless you push too hard or try to use too much. Okay, let me make sure I'm straight on there. You can't always go by the way I cut it. Does that look straight to you, Ed?
Close enough.
Close enough. Well, the thing is, once it's sitting, it might really show. Well, I think it's pretty close. if it's not, it's handmade, what do you do? That's just part of it. Okay, I'm not going to push hard at all because I know my paste is thinner than it needs to be. And when you put the paste on, you just make sure you cover every little spot that's white because that's where the paste is going through the stencil. Okay, see, that one did really well. I may have pushed too hard on that first one. All right, let me... Now, this is not a smear over here by the 3. That's where I kind of dirtied up the edge of my stencil. Over here. So that turned out pretty good. And I'm going to put a messy bow up here. All right, let's see if I can redo. I wonder if maybe if I sand that just a little bit, it will help too. Because I did paint it all over. Okay, let's see. All right, so my sticky's back. I'll make sure there's no water there. I very seldom ever use stencils back to back. I wash them and let them dry on their own. But we'll try and see if this is going to work. And I'm going to have to be careful and not touch the hope. Okay. I want to make sure I'm at the edge. See where my line is at. All right. Let's try this again. I'm going to make sure I push it down really good, just in those letters. Okay. Get some thicker paste off the edges. The thing with trying to not push hard, you got to make sure you push hard enough to get it through the stencil.
It's a solid backing with little fine perforated mesh.
Yeah, and a lot of them have got a lot of detail in that mesh. Okay. That's still a little bit, but I think it's okay. We're going to say it's okay. It's not as good as the Hope. All right, let's try it. Which really, it just makes it look more vintage. But I didn't want to do black, and I didn't want to do pink. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. I could have come down on my word hope in this little box more. Okay. So that's what we've got so far. We've got this boot and the 1 Corinthians, and then the faith, hope, and love down the side. So it's good enough. I'm going to work on I'm going to do a messy bow, and I'm going to put some ribbon around this. And then I'll decide. Now, you absolutely could take the stencils or more words and do the other side. I normally don't do but one side, but you certainly could if you wanted to. Okay. I don't know for sure what ribbon I want to use. I just brought a lot of it in here with me that I thought kind of would look the shabby chic. There's this pretty lace, kind of thick, and then I thought this one might be pretty, maybe all the way around it, but it's going to be in our bow. And I believe all these probably came from Walmart, not Walmart, Hobby Lobby. So you got to have lace, and you got to have the lace and the. This is the one I'm thinking of putting all the way around it. And then you can't have Shabby Chic without pearls. And then there's some more lace. That's my twine. I think I'm going to add a little bit of jute. And I wanted just a dash of pink. I don't know if I'll use this or maybe both. And then I have this pretty piece of, see, that would be really pretty around it too. I don't know if you can see. It's like the brown and the cream. But we're definitely going to use all of these in our bow. So let's start, and I'll show you how I'm going to make a shabby bow. You decide about what width, because you can always cut it again. And I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this. I don't fool with trying to dovetail my ends yet. But I do not want the wire, so I'm going to take it and turn it down. Sometimes, especially this wire, it's got the beads on it, so I'm going to fold it down. Make sure it's not on the others. Okay, and then I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this one. Let's get it going straight to start with. It may fray a little bit on the ends because it's like a yarn. You know, they don't have to be exact because you're going to cut it the length you want to. Alright, I know I'm not going to use this one in the going around it, so I'm going to put it back in here. I also brought some material I may rip up. Okay, and I'm not sure about that one yet. Let me get 2 of these. Then we're going to add some pink in here. Okay, I really like this one all the way around it. It's either going to be that one or this one. We're going to add some pink and some lace and some pearls. Turn this one this way. We're going to put some jute in there. You could even put some dark brown if you wanted to. I didn't pull out any dark brown ribbon. That's a little brighter pink than the pink of the roses, but I feel like it needs a little pink in it. This is a new, sometimes these little bitty ones, it's hard to find that little piece of plastic. I may decide I don't like that brighter pink, but we'll see. Because you gotta have plenty of lace. I mean, beads. We're actually going to do 4 of those. Okay. And then we're just going to kind of layer them. I want my thicker ones on the bottom. And then I'm just going to put some of these others in here. You never know for sure what your bow's going to look like, y'all. You just go with it. If you don't like it, you just make another one. Okay. Let's put maybe this pink in here. And then the beige. And then the pink again. The jute. And then we're going to put beads right on top. Then I'm going to take a piece of jute and I'm going to kind of hold these in the middle and just wrap jute around them to kind of tie them together. Then we'll adjust anything we want to adjust. And you know, your things might move around a little bit, that's okay. Just tie a knot as tight as you can get it so you for sure have a bow. Okay. Okay, I'm going to adjust those beads a little. Cut off that part of the jute. Then I'm going to go slowly and kind of cut my ribbon just at a little bit of an angle. Not drastic. Some of it I may not cut at an angle because I'm not sure how it's going to do. Just going to be different textures. They don't have to all be the same length at all. Let me see if that's going to be. I probably would have liked that tied a little tighter. Let me see if I can get it tighter. Get a bigger piece. Now that we kind of have it squished, let's see if maybe we can get it just a little bit tighter in the middle. I used a lot of thicker ribbon. This time I'm going to try to turn it over in the back and get it just a little tighter. If your ribbon's not quite as thick, you can take them and you can move them. You can adjust them and make them longer. Cut these. Now I can make a regular bow by hand, but I haven't mastered the shabby, the messy bow yet. Because you want to be able to see some of each ribbon a little bit. Cut the beads off there just a tad. All right, I think my size is okay. Cut off that piece of wire. And I didn't use the cloth. And it might would have been better had, you know, but you just make whatever kind of bow you want to make. I might would have been better using the cloth than that thicker ribbon. But, you know, we're going to put, I think it'll be fine. We're going to put rose or something on it, or bling or something. Now I've got to decide, not that ribbon, which ribbon I want to put all the way around. Do I want to put this really thick one, or do I want to put this more dainty? You're really going to see it more on the sides. I actually think I kind of like the dainty. I'm going to go with the dainty. This is just almost too thick. So we're going to get enough of this to go all the way around it. And I'm going to fix it where it comes together right here, where I'm going to put my bow. And overlap on the top. Just a little bit. You absolutely could make it, well, whatever you wanted. I kind of make sure I have it. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. And then a little glue on top of that. Oh, there went my glue stick in my water. And I'm going to pull it tight. And then pull this piece tight. And you're not going to see this right here because we're going to put the bow. It's wet, isn't it? Or did you dry it? Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could, my hands are a little wet. You could put a little bit of glue on each edge. And I probably will to keep it from moving. So what I'll do is just add a little bit of glue up and under here. Just a little dot. You won't see it. And then I'll do a little.
Terry says, I'm still here.
Here.
I'm just watching while I wash dishes.
Well, thank you for being here, Terry. I know Wednesday in the middle of the day is probably not the best time for a lot of people. Just, it's what works best for us right now. And as we get closer to more, the major holidays, I probably will start going live 2 times a week. All right, I'm wondering, y'all. I'm going to do something I very seldom ever do. You can always fix something. I do not like that really thick ribbon on there. I love the ribbon, but I don't like it in this. So I'm going to cut my thing off and take that ribbon out and retie it. I very seldom ever tear apart anything and redo it. But I just feel like that ribbon was just too much. Didn't like it. I didn't like it. So what do you do when you don't like it? You redo it.
Miss Ted says you got to do what works for you.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought it would make it look real shabby chic, but you couldn't see it that well, and it was just making my bow way too hard, tight, big, thick. That's a good word for it, Ed. Thick. I'm thick. So we're going to do this instead. That's what I love about crafting. You can usually make something work. I'm going to cut that a little longer because you might can see it through there. It was just, And the pink's okay. It's brighter than the other, but it's fine. Okay, I think I like that better with the beads. We may cut those a little shorter. It just makes it lay down better on there too. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, put my glue stick back in here that fell out, and just put a dab of glue on the back of this and try to get it in the center. You could put beads all the way around it on the side. I wondered, there's beads, the dog doesn't need to get those, does he? I wondered even if you could take these pearls and make a bow with the pearls. I've got some roses over here that I thought I might use. I think you'd need a big bow. You could definitely do the pearls if you wanted to. Let me see what I've got here in my stash of roses. I have some pink roses, maybe 2 pink.
That's just more.
You need something right there on that top of that little bow, though. Maybe a couple of these. I think one looks crazy. But I love the beads. So this is the type of thing, y'all, you just work with it until you like it. Now these are kind of a peach color, but they're too big, so it's got to be something small. But I really like the beads hanging down. So I'm for sure going to add those. I need a finger protector. I just made like a little loop. I'm going to add these beads to hang down. And we're almost done. But the flower stands up too tall. I think. It's got to be one there. I may just have to play with it and see what I can come up with, y'all. Maybe a little bitty flower on the top. It stands up, but I like the two like that, but you got to have something right there. I may look and see if I have like a little piece of bling, or I may cut one of these flowers off and see if you just put part of the flower. You can manipulate these flowers. And that may be what I do. Put a flat flower there on the top and flatten it over those beads. I think I got it. Then we're going to put one at the top. That glue stick does not want to stay in my glue gun. Okay, and I'm going to see about finding a little bitty one and putting right there. As small as I can find. And anyway, that's pretty much going to get this for us, y'all. Do you like the beads or not? Ed probably doesn't. But Ed's not a shabby chic person anyway. Are you, Ed? Mm-mm. Okay, that one's pretty small, so I'm going to put it in there.
I don't like spending good money to make something look old.
This is when you just have to play with it until you get it the way you like it, because you can't do it ahead of time. Okay. So that's what you see from the top, okay? And then this is what, if you set it somewhere, this is what you see from the side.
Here it says, I like the beads, and you're talking about flowers. What about a flat daisy kind of flower?
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of a peach too. So a pretty, like antique cross type thing would look real pretty there too. I don't think I have any kind of the, what is it called? Dazzle something. It's a bling. It's the blingy stuff. It's like diamonds or something. I don't have any of those. So I had thought these cream flowers would probably be the closest thing that might look a little shabby chic. So, but anyway, that's what we've got. If you see anything that you're interested in Magnolia Designs, or if you have any questions about it, just PM me and let me know, and I'll answer your questions. I love their stuff. One of the main reasons I love them, there's two really. What drew me to them to start with was all of the faith-based stencils that they have. I mean, I showed you on my book. These are just the ones I have that are faith-based, and I mean, it's full of just faith-based stencils. They have this one was a little big, and then this is the Amazing Grace and the Old Rugged Cross. They were a little bit too big to go in here. So give them a try. Check them out. If you have any questions, let me know. And like I said, be sure and share this video and come back in the comments and put that you shared, because then your name will go into our blessing bag for the end of this month. And I'll put together a big box of my favorite things. So, and I can't put Ed in there, y'all. Sorry. But
nobody was on.
The shipping would just be way too much. But so anyway, this is what we have for today. I will be doing the craft club next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and then I'm going to show y'all. I can tell you for at least the next week after that, I'm going to show you how to do paper roses. And you're going to be amazed at how simple and easy it is. You can take a hymn book, you can take any kind of book with pages and make a paper rose with just 4 sheets of paper. Really cool. But we're going to do that later. Now, I could always go back if I wanted to and take maybe this, or maybe the hand. The glove might be really pretty there. So I might do that. But anyway, I'll sit through that. I may decide to put another stencil on this, or rub-on transfer, excuse me. So, all right, well, I will see y'all next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and thank you for hanging in there with me today. Bye-bye.